Hi, thank you for clicking. I want to appreciate you as always. Those of you who are always coming over to know what I would always talk about and to also share and also get other people informed about the things that we're going through as a people. I want to thank you again once more. My name is Kelechi Ambrose and this is Truth Channel Network. I want to bring your minds all to, of course, you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the main discussion at this appropriate time or this time around. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the talk. It's obviously clear to all of us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's predicament is become the cynosure of the disgrace and the criminality of Nigeria, because we are able to see how terrorists are being treated in Nigeria and how people who are sane, people who are intellectual, people who are, known to be true, standing on the path of truth, and who are resilient about the belief for freedom, the fight for freedom, could be mesmerized and treated the way they have been treated in a place where human beings are supposed to be human beings rather than being animals and lower than animals. I want to say to you this day that it is important for us to note that we shouldn't always forget things. There are so many things that have been going on and being said on social media over time that most of us do forget. And sometimes we don't pay close attention to them, or we just watch them, and after that moment we forget. That is typical of the colonial mindset. They make you forget important things. The reason why you forget them is because you don't reason them through. You don't reason them through because by colonial design, or by how the mind functions when one is under the bondage of colonial and grip, you tend not to think through things critically because you are only thinking about what you have to do to survive every day. So when situations around you come to play, you tend to see them at that point, or that point of them happening, and then you forget the next moment. Go back to the status quo of thinking about what you have to eat. And what am I trying to say? We have heard politicians in Nigeria tell you that terrorists can contest and be presidents. They can contest, they can take any position. And today we see the overrunning of the Nigerian military or the armed forces by invaders. How many of you still remember when online, when the heat was very high, they made you understand and believe that these people are invaders coming from Niger, Somalia, and other places. But today they are telling you that these same people are part of the system because they can vote and be voted for. They can take any position, they can be rehabilitated, they can take over communities, displace indigenous people and take over communities. And that's what's going on right now. Today, in fact, in Kwara, communities have been displaced and terrorists have taken over. And this is what is happening in a place where people should reason like human beings and understand what is happening, the danger for them. But an average Nigerian would still hold on to the narrative of Nigeria and would not want to back down. They want to hold it on and strongly and want to go continually with it. And that's where the danger is. And that is why we could see ahead and we could now say what we need is separation, dissolution of the contraption. Remember, the purpose of everything defines that thing. It is the purpose of a thing that defines it. The purpose of bringing Nigeria or composing Nigeria wasn't for the people. It was to benefit the businessmen, the countries, the interest of the countries that composed, and that entity. The purpose was to extract the mineral resources, take human resources, and make that place the base of extortion, plundering, and anything that is anti-indigenous. And so indigenous people would always suffer the brunt of the whole mess. And it is shocking, when people don't see this and all they can do is to allow themselves to be messed up with every form of, situation that come their way, and every form of circumstance and things that come their way. I want you to understand this. Basically, it is important for you to know that what Omo Yele Shore is doing right now in bringing people together for the 20th of October protest is very, very fundamental. Some of you don't understand how things work. Not because you don't really know that what he's calling for is critically good, but because of our nature of hatred, ego. We are too full of ourselves that when somebody else is doing something good and we don't like the person, we want to fight it. We don't care whether it's going to benefit anybody, it's going to be good for anybody. All we want is that let it go down. As long as it is not somebody I know that is doing it or somebody I like that is doing it. Especially when you know the person has been consistent in doing the right thing. More Yele Shore has been consistent for Mazin Namdekano from time. What some of you cannot do or could not do, Shore has been doing it. He's been consistent there for Mazin Namdekano. He's been in courts, showing up, talking, granting interviews, standing strong for Mazin Namdekano. But some of you are busy gossiping and turning because they have put this tribal mindset in you that once it is from another tribe, you must fight it. That's what the politicians have done. That's what the colonial masters have done. They make you always so conscious of tribe so that you can, when it comes to critical reasoning, you bring in the sentiments of tribe. And it is not as if tribe is anything wrong. No, we must identify with our tribes, yes. But when it comes to things that deal on sensitive matters that concerns the lives of people, the nationhood, and all of that, you must look critically at the facts and the basis of the facts to be able to understand how to operate. When it comes to things that have to do with nation building and building your nation, as the nation of Biafra, of course, Biafra first. But when you see people in other places or from other places doing great things and working out things, you should also appreciate it. And especially when you see those ones who over time have been consistent and doing some stuff, not minding whether it is from this tribe or that tribe. Omo Yele Shore has been consistent that way. In fact, in 2023, he was part of those, going around and seeing to it the fact that Mazin Namdekano is released, and you heard what he said. Along the line, most people who rejected this fight for Mazin Namdekano to be free were people from the East, the Igbos. In fact, he said from Imo State, they were fighting it because of their political interest. Now, you see how deadly our people can be when their interest is called to play or is in play. They can be very deadly. Our people can be very deadly. It is very, very terrible to see that people can be just so selfish to the point that they would want an innocent man to languish in jail or to remain in jail because they want political aggrandizement or political satisfaction. It is very, very critical and shows the decadence in our system and the terribleness of the circumstances around us. And basically, Shore is calling on every one of us. Now, I want to tell every one of you, it is very important that we support him in this cause. Wherever you are, as long as you're in the contraption, if you can travel, if you cannot travel, no problems. But if you are in Lagos, you can travel. You are any part of the contraption, you can travel, or you are in Abuja. If you are in Abuja, you must be around for that protest. You must, that protest, that walk to Asorok, you must be there. If you are not around and you don't have what it takes to travel down, no problems. But be on social media and give your moral support. Let's all be part of that. But before that happens, Jacob Okechukwu has already said that he also wants us to start a campaign that would usher in that protest, and that is on the 18th of October, and which is about in 5 days from now. Today's 13th of October 2000, Monday 13th of October 2025. He said on the 18th, we all must be on social media, talking, tweeting, chatting, and everything of anything we do that day. Everything we do on social media that day must be about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so that we'll create a massive awareness. Let him trend, and let the trend go all over the nations of the world. Wherever you are in the nations of the world, you must, do that for that day for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You must tweet, send messages on social media, whatever platform you are on. You must make that day sacrosanct for this cause. We must push the narrative, and then on the 20th, we all must be there to make sure that the world see the biggest number of people converging for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It must be resounding, both on social media and also on ground. It must be resounding. It is critical that every one of us must take this as if it is the last thing we can do for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as if it is the most important thing in our lives, as if it is all that we need to do to get our freedom. And I tell you, Chukwuka is behind everything and behind this. You must understand that freedom is close, but we must play our role. We must do what we have to do as a people. And I'm calling on you wherever you are. Join this. I look forward to this being one of the things that would shake the world and the media all over the nations of the world, so that the mainstream media would have no choice, all over the world have no choice but report it. We must make it happen. This is very important. This will prove to us that we have people who are very critical about change, and who are standing on the path of truth, and who wants things to happen right. And you must be that person making this known to the world and lending your voice to see that this happens. And please like this, share on all your social media platforms, and please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed. Also follow the page, our page, Truth Channel Network, on Facebook, and any other place you see Truth Channel Network. Follow us. Please subscribe to this channel. It is important. Like this video, also comment and let us know what you have in mind, and then from what you have in mind, we'll do better things and understand better things. Thank you so much, and God bless you very good.